There comes a moment in every life when the battle intensifies, when the pressure mounts, when the resistance becomes almost unbearable. It is not a coincidence. It is not by accident. It is a sign that you are on the edge of a breakthrough, a sign that you are closer than ever to stepping into the fullness of your destiny. The enemy knows it. That is why the attacks have increased. That is why the obstacles seem greater. That is why the weight feels heavier. Because the enemy does not attack what is not a threat. When a seed is buried in the ground, it experiences darkness. It feels the weight of the soil pressing down on it. It seems as if nothing is happening. But deep within, something is breaking forth. The roots are going deeper. The strength is increasing. And when the time is right, that seed will break through the soil and reach toward the sky. The resistance was never meant to destroy it. It was meant to strengthen it. Opposition is the proof that you are making progress. If you were going nowhere, there would be no fight. If you had no purpose, there would be no pressure. But because you are chosen, because you're anointed, because you are walking in divine assignment, the enemy has taken notice. He is afraid of who you are becoming. He fears the impact of your life. That is why he is throwing everything he can to stop you. But he cannot stop what God has ordained. The challenges you are facing right now are not random. They are not accidental. They are a direct response to the progress you are making. You may have noticed that as soon as you decided to pursue your purpose, as soon as you stepped out in faith, as soon as you made the decision to elevate your thinking, the opposition increased. The weight of resistance became heavier. The battles became more intense. This is not a coincidence. It is confirmation. It is evidence that you are moving in the right direction. The very fact that you are experiencing opposition is proof that you are advancing. When you were stagnant, when you were complacent, when you were not stretching beyond your limitations, the enemy had no reason to fight you. There was no need for resistance because you posed no threat. But the moment you made up your mind to break free from mediocrity, the moment you decided to step into the fullness of your calling, you became a target. Opposition is always the reaction to progress. It is a sign that something is shifting in your life. It is an indication that you are on the path to something greater. Imagine a runner in a race. The closer they get to the finish line, the more their muscles burn, the more their lungs demand oxygen, the more their body begs them to stop. But the pain is not a sign to quit. It is proof that they are getting closer. The resistance they feel is the force of progress. The same is true in life. When you feel like the weight is increasing, when the obstacles seem relentless, when the pressure is mounting, it is not a signal to retreat. It is confirmation that you are advancing. Consider the story of any great leader, visionary, or pioneer. None of them walked an easy path. The moment they stepped into their purpose, they faced resistance. The moment they challenged the norm, they encountered opposition. The moment they decided to rise above average, the battle intensified. This is the pattern of destiny. Those who achieve greatness are those who refuse to be discouraged by opposition. They recognize that resistance is part of the journey. They understand that the enemy only fights those who carry something valuable. A tree that bears no fruit is never shaken. No one throws stones at an empty tree, but when a tree begins to bear fruit, people take notice. They reach for its branches, they shake it, they try to pluck from it. This is what happens when you start producing, when you start stepping into your divine calling. Suddenly, attacks come from unexpected places. Suddenly, people who once supported you may turn against you. Suddenly, distractions appear to pull you off course. But these are not signs of failure. They are signs of progress. The enemy does not disturb those who are going nowhere. He targets those who are moving forward. Think about the times in your life when you felt the least resistance. Those were probably the times when you were playing it safe, staying within your comfort zone. avoiding risks and not challenging yourself to grow. But the moment you decided to push beyond your limitations, to dream bigger, to strive for more, the battle increased. This is because every level of elevation comes with new challenges. Every step forward invites new opposition. But opposition is not an obstacle. It is an opportunity. It is the refining process that strengthens you, that prepares you for the next dimension of your life. In the natural world, an eagle faces the greatest resistance when it spreads its wings to rise above the storm. But instead of retreating, it leans into the wind. It uses the very force that opposes it to lift higher. The winds that were meant to push it down become the very winds that elevate it. This is the mindset you must embrace. The opposition you face is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to push you higher. The resistance is not an indication to stop. It is an indication that you are on the right path. There is a reason why the battle intensifies just before a breakthrough. The pressure you are feeling, the weight that seems unbearable, the overwhelming challenges that appear out of nowhere, these are not signs that you are failing. They are indications that something is about to shift. The closer you get to a new level, the more resistance you will face. The enemy does not fight you at the beginning when you're still figuring things out. He waits until you are just about to step into what you have been preparing for, what you have been working toward, what you have been believing for. That is when the attacks increase. That is when the distractions multiply. That is when the weight becomes heavier. Look at a woman in labor. The closer she gets to delivering the child, the more intense the contractions become. The pain increases. The pressure builds. Her body reaches its breaking point. But those final moments of struggle are not a sign that something is wrong. They are proof that something is about to be birthed. If she gives up in that moment, she will never see the life that was inside her. The only way to see the promise fulfilled is to endure the pressure. A seed buried in the ground experiences darkness. It is covered, unseen, and seemingly forgotten. But deep beneath the soil, something is happening. The pressure of the earth, the moisture, the nutrients, it all works together to break the outer shell of the seed. At first, it looks like destruction, but in reality, it is preparation. The pressure is necessary for growth. If the seed resists the breaking, it will never become a tree. If it avoids the pressure, it will never reach the surface. Growth requires breaking. Expansion requires pressure. Elevation requires resistance. When you are facing the most pressure, it is because you are closest to something significant. The weight is not meant to crush you. It is meant to prepare you. The delay is not denial, it is development. The struggle is not punishment, it is positioning. The enemy knows that if he can convince you to quit now, you will never step into the manifestation of what you have been working for. He understands that if he can get you to doubt, to waver, to retreat, he can stop you from reaching your full potential. That is why the battle intensifies at the last moment. That is why the attacks seem unrelenting just before the door opens. That is why the pressure is heaviest right before the breakthrough. Consider the process of refining gold. It must go through fire, intense heat, and pressure before it becomes valuable. The impurities cannot be removed without the furnace. The shine cannot be revealed without the refining. The same is true for you. The challenges you are facing are not designed to destroy you, they are designed to refine you. Every obstacle, every setback, every moment of pressure is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the level that is coming. If you can endure the pressure, if you can withstand the resistance, if you can push through the breaking point, you will step into something greater than you imagined. The enemy knows this. That is why he attacks you hardest when you are closest to your promise. That is why fear creeps in just as you are about to take the next step. That is why distractions appear when you are on the verge of something great. The pressure increases because you are almost there. The weight intensifies because the door is about to open. The battle rages because you are too close to stop now. Resistance. Nothing strengthens without pressure. Just as muscles in the body grow through resistance, your faith, character, and purpose are strengthened through the opposition you face. Without challenges, without trials, without moments that stretch you beyond your comfort zone, there can be no true growth. The struggle is not there to break you, it is there to build you. Every difficulty you face is shaping you for the next level, molding you into the person you need to become for what is ahead. Consider the process of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar undergoes a complete change. The process is not easy. It is confined, restricted, and under immense pressure. But in that struggle, transformation is happening. When the butterfly is finally ready to emerge, it must fight its way out of the cocoon. The struggle strengthens its wings, preparing it for flight. If someone were to cut the cocoon open and relieve the butterfly of the struggle, it would never develop the strength needed to fly. The struggle is necessary. The resistance is essential. Without it, the wings remain weak. Without it, the transformation is incomplete. A tree that stands strong against the wind develops deep roots. If it were never challenged by the elements, it would grow weak and fragile. The storms it faces force its roots to go deeper, making it unshakable. The same applies to you. The more resistance you face, the deeper your strength grows. Every challenge is an opportunity to build endurance. Every setback is a chance to develop resilience. Without resistance, you remain shallow, unable to stand when greater challenges arise. Think about an athlete training for a championship. If they never push past their limits, if they never endure the pain of training, if they never challenge themselves beyond what feels comfortable, they will never reach peak performance. The struggle is what makes them stronger. The resistance is what builds their endurance. The pain they feel in training is the preparation for the moment of victory. If they quit because it is hard, they will never reach their full potential. The same is true in life. The difficulties you face are training you, equipping you, and preparing you for what is ahead. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Every hardship is a lesson that strengthens you for the next stage. Gold must go through fire to be purified. Without the heat, the impurities remain. Without the refining process, it never reaches its full value. The fire does not destroy the gold, it removes what does not belong. The same happens in your life. The struggles, the tests, and the challenges are removing the weaknesses, the doubts, and the fears that are holding you back. The process may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. The resistance is shaping you into something greater. When an eagle flies into a storm, it does not fight against the wind. Instead, it spreads its wings and uses the very force of the storm to rise higher. What was meant to push it down becomes the very thing that lifts it to greater heights. The resistance that was supposed to stop it becomes the force that accelerates it. This is how you must approach opposition. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, recognize it as an opportunity. The very thing that was meant to hinder you is what will take you higher. The challenges, the trials, and the resistance are not there to destroy you. They are there to strengthen you for what is coming. Distractions are one of the most effective tools used to derail progress. When you are on the path to something great, distractions will arise to pull your focus away from your purpose. They come in many forms: fear, doubt, unnecessary conflicts, temptations, and even opportunities that seem good but are not meant for you. The enemy understands that if he can get your mind occupied with things that do not matter, you will lose sight of the things that do. He does not need to stop you completely. He only needs to slow you down, delay your progress, and keep you from being fully committed to your assignment. Imagine an archer aiming at a target. If their eyes shift even slightly, the arrow will miss its mark. It does not take a dramatic shift to lose focus. Just a small distraction is enough to throw everything off course. The same applies to life. You may not recognize the distractions at first because they often come disguised as urgent matters, small compromises, or voices that seem to be offering guidance. But anything that pulls you away from your true purpose, anything that weakens your focus, is a distraction. Fear is one of the greatest distractions. When you begin to move forward, fear whispers that you are not capable, that you are not ready, that you will fail. If you entertain those thoughts, you will hesitate. That hesitation can cost you opportunities. Fear does not need to stop you entirely. It just needs to make you second guess yourself long enough to lose momentum. Fear magnifies problems, making them seem bigger than they really are. It distorts reality, making obstacles appear impossible to overcome. But fear itself is an illusion. The more attention you give it, the stronger it grows. The moment you stop feeding it, it loses power. Doubt is another powerful distraction. When you begin to doubt yourself, your abilities, or your purpose, you start to slow down. You start questioning whether you are on the right path. Doubt creates instability. A person who is double-minded is never fully committed to anything. They start but do not finish. They begin with excitement but lose motivation halfway. Doubt keeps you in a cycle of hesitation, preventing you from stepping into what you were meant to do. The enemy knows that if he can fill your mind with doubt, he does not need to do anything else. You will stop yourself before you even begin. People can also be distractions. Not everyone who is around you is meant to walk with you. Some relationships drain your energy, pull you into unnecessary conflicts, and shift your focus away from what truly matters. There will be people who try to discourage you, not because they do not believe in you, but because they are afraid to see you rise. Some will speak negativity into your life, telling you what you cannot do, what is impossible, and why you should give up. If you allow those voices to take root, they will influence your decisions and weaken your faith. You must be careful who you allow into your inner circle. The voices you listen to will shape your mindset. If you surround yourself with distractions, you will struggle to stay focused on your path. Opportunities can also be distractions. Not every open door is meant to be walked through. Some opportunities look appealing but are not aligned with your purpose. If you are not discerning, you may chase after things that take you off course. The enemy is not afraid of you being busy. He is afraid of you being effective. He does not mind if you work hard as long as you are working on the wrong things. Success is not just about doing more, it is about doing what matters most. If you spread yourself too thin, chasing everything that comes your way, you will lose sight of what you were truly called to do. What has been ordained for you cannot be stopped by any force. No opposition, no obstacle, and no delay can cancel what has been divinely established. When you walk in your purpose, setbacks may come. Resistance may rise and difficulties may appear, but they do not have the power to erase what has already been written. Too often, people give up when they face challenges, believing that difficulty means denial. They assume that because doors are not opening immediately, it must mean they are on the wrong path. But just because the journey is hard does not mean the promise has changed. A river may encounter rocks, fallen trees, and barriers along its course, but it does not stop flowing. It finds a way around, over, or through every obstacle because its destination is already set. The same is true for your life. The calling over you has already been determined. The challenges you face are not signs that you are losing. They are opportunities for you to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. No setback can override what has been assigned to you. The enemy wants you to believe that delays are denials. He wants you to think that because things are taking longer than expected, they will never happen. But delays are often a part of the process. Sometimes what looks like a delay is actually preparation. If you receive something too soon before you're ready for it, it will not last. What has been ordained for you requires you to be developed into the person who can sustain it. The waiting season is not wasted. It is where you are strengthened, trained, and refined. Look at the process of refining gold. Before it reaches its full value, it must go through fire. The heat removes impurities, bringing out its true worth. If the gold were taken out too soon, it would still be mixed with things that diminish its value. The refining process is necessary. The same is true for your purpose. The struggles you face are burning away the things that are not meant to go with you to the next level. The discomfort, the pain, and the challenges are part of the refining, ensuring that when you step into your purpose, you are ready to sustain it. When a tree is planted, its roots grow deep before its branches stretch high. If a tree grows too fast without strong roots, it will collapse under its own weight. The same principle applies to life. Before you rise, you must be rooted. Before you receive what has been promised, you must be prepared to carry it. The deeper your roots, the higher you can grow. The preparation phase is essential because it ensures that when you step into what is yours, you will not be shaken by the storms that come with it. Resistance does not mean rejection. A plane faces the greatest resistance when it is taking off. The wind that opposes it is the same wind that lifts it higher. Without resistance, it would never leave the ground. The obstacles you face are not meant to stop you. They are meant to strengthen you. The opposition is a sign that you are in motion, that you are stepping into something greater. If what you were pursuing was insignificant, there would be no resistance. The enemy only fights what he fears. Your purpose is unstoppable because it has been assigned to you before you even knew it existed. The challenges you face are not signs that you should quit. They are confirmations that you are on the right path. No force can cancel what has been divinely ordained. The only thing that can stop you is if you choose to stop yourself. Victory is inevitable when you refuse to give up. The enemy knows this, which is why he applies the most pressure when you are closest to your breakthrough. The challenges you are facing are not random, they are strategic. The increase in opposition, the sudden obstacles, the unexpected resistance, these are all signs that you are on the verge of something significant. The enemy is not fighting you because of where you are. He is fighting you because of where you are going. He sees what is ahead, and his goal is to discourage you before you step into it. A runner in a marathon feels the most exhaustion in the final stretch. Their muscles burn, their body begs them to stop, and their mind tells them they cannot go any further. But if they push past that breaking point, they will cross the finish line. The pain they feel is not a signal to stop. It is proof that they are almost there. The same applies to your journey. The resistance you feel right now is not a sign that you are losing. It is a sign that victory is near. Imagine a farmer who plants a seed and waters it faithfully. Days, weeks, and even months may pass without any visible sign of growth. But beneath the soil, something is happening. The roots are developing, the foundation is being established, and at the appointed time, the breakthrough will happen. If the farmer gives up too soon, he will walk away just before the harvest appears. Many people quit right before their breakthrough because they allow frustration, fatigue, and doubt to convince them that nothing is happening. But just because you do not see progress does not mean progress is not being made. A caterpillar that is transforming into a butterfly must go through a process of struggle inside the cocoon. It may look like suffering, but that struggle is what gives it the strength to fly. If someone were to cut the cocoon open too soon to ease the process, the butterfly would never develop strong wings. The resistance it faces is what enables it to reach its full potential. The challenges you are facing are not there to break you. They are there to equip you. Every struggle, every difficulty, and every obstacle is preparing you for the victory that is already set before you. The enemy wants you to focus on how hard it is, how long it is taking, and how tired you feel. He wants you to believe that victory is impossible so that you will give up on your own. He cannot take your victory away. He can only try to convince you to walk away from it. That is why distractions increase when you are close. That is why fear tries to creep in at the last moment. That is why doubt grows louder when you're about to step forward. It is a final attempt to make you quit before you reach what is already yours. Resistance always increases before elevation. An airplane must push against the wind to take off. The force that seems to oppose it is the same force that lifts it higher. If the pilot were to turn back at the first sign of resistance, the plane would never leave the ground. The resistance in your life is not there to hold you down. It is there to lift you up. The greater the resistance, the greater the elevation. The enemy knows you are about to win. That is why the battle has intensified. That is why the pressure has increased. That is why it feels harder now than ever before. But if you hold on, if you refuse to be moved by what you see or feel, if you keep pressing forward despite the resistance, you will step into everything that has already been set in motion for you. The victory is not a matter of possibility, it is a matter of endurance. The only way to lose is to give up. In the journey towards your purpose, opposition is inevitable, but it is never a sign of failure. Each obstacle, each challenge, and each moment of resistance is evidence that you are on the right path. The enemy intensifies the pressure because he knows that you are close to your breakthrough. The greater the struggle, the closer you are to victory. Your purpose is unstoppable, and every setback is simply a setup for the success that awaits you. Keep pressing forward, knowing that the resistance is only strengthening you and preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. Your victory is not a matter of if, but when. Stay focused, stay committed, and trust that what has been ordained for you will come to pass.